Hello, everyone. Hope you're all well. Just doing a live EME. Just making sure that people on social media know about it as well. Got to try and get as many people here as we possibly can. Kill the boredom. That's what it's all about. Just making sure that it's live in all the right places. Yes, it is. It is. It's live in all the right places. So I'm just going to give it a little minute or so. And see if we're going to get lots more people in, and then I'll start doing the questions. But put your questions into the answer box there. Into the live chat. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask here and post that I'm online just now. And it's not working. Multitasking is just not working for me. So, yeah, we will see what happens. So we have a lot of, not a lot, but a fair few people there. So feel free to just ping your questions. I'm ready to go anytime you guys are. So, ping your questions. Let's get through as many as we can. Please don't ask to see the new haircut. Went really badly yesterday. So decided to take a shaver to the head because my hair was really starting to annoy me. And yeah, it's pretty bald. I thought it was a number 3 I was getting, but sadly not. But quite happy with it. So that's it. But funny tweets. Why bloggers are just copying each other. I think, there's only so much we can say in terms of things online. We can't, SEO is SEO, digital marketing is digital marketing. So I think, there's only a limited amount of topics we can talk about, like whether that be Facebook ads, whether it be pay-per-click, whether it be SEO, whether it be automated software or whatever it's going to be. So you kind of are limited in what you can say anyway. So I think, that's where you start to see, people starting to become a bit repetitive online. Bloggers are going to all go after the same thing, the same money. It's all done with a view to monetizing it, getting as many people as you can on your website, selling affiliate stuff or whatever it's going to be. So yeah, it's sadly the way of the world. And that's the only answer I can really give you for that. So yeah, there's not a whole lot of stuff you can really do that's different from other bloggers, other than adding your personality and some of your golden nuggets. As someone has asked from Facebook, give us some nuggets, Craig. Nuggets in related to what? Tell me what you want to know. I'm an open book, so happy to discuss things, but I don't know what you don't know. That's the problem. So that's why the questions, give me leading questions and I will answer them as honestly as I possibly can, within reason, depending on the questions. Ashish Kumar Gupta, hello. Kevin Jonas Chong was asking, will I be blacklisted for asking too many questions? Absolutely not, mate. Just you ask as many questions as you see fit. So SEO golden nuggets. Golden nuggets in SEO. Is it related to link building? SEO golden nuggets could mean anything. Like I could tell you to use Page Optimizer Pro for your own page, Surf for SEO, things like that. It's a very generic, give me a golden nugget about SEO, as I say, but be more specific and I'll go into depth on something, whether it's link building or whatever it may be, but you need to let me know what you need to know. Funny tweets. I'm stuck in a learning loop of SEO marketing and all. Obviously, you do end up stuck in a loop, going round in circles quite a lot. That's quite common. I think in my first 5 years of being in SEO, I was going round in circles mainly because I was listening to everyone and anyone, and I wasn't really doing my own research. And I think you need to do your own testing, figure out what's right and what's wrong from the information that's out there, because there's a wealth of information out there, but people are not always given the right information. There's many people who give the right information out there, but I think too many people follow the masses, and follow 10 different guys who've all got different styles and different objectives and stuff like that. So you need to kind of follow someone who's established, that has a proven track record. Otherwise, you're just going to go around in circles, and you need to kind of put faith in what that person's saying. But as I say, also try and test what they're saying to see if it actually works for you, because I think without doing the testing yourself, you're never going to know. And there's so many times in the past where I've followed something because someone said it was the right thing to do. That actually really didn't make a blind bit of difference. So yeah, you just have to implement stuff. Follow courses. There's a number of different people, different courses out there. Some great videos on YouTube. There's lots of different guys out there. You've got Matthew Woodward, Matt Diggity, Gail Brereton. There's so many good people out there, just giving all sorts of knowledge. And I think you can start to implement what these guys are saying. That's certainly the ones I would be looking at, and then trying and testing what they're suggesting that you do. What do I think of Software SEO? Great tool. Software SEO is very pleasing on the eye as well. Nice dashboard. You can obviously report to clients on it. And I think for me, what's really good about the likes of Software SEO is obviously you're comparing the on-page elements of a website to the competition who are on page one. So it's not like you're guessing what changes you should be making, or just doing wholesale changes for the sheer hell of it. You're making changes based on actual recommendations and data that comes from the top 10 search results. And I think that that's a really good thing to be doing, making changes based on actual data, rather than the guy down the pub said that adding another header tag's great for SEO. We hear that crap all the time, but I think obviously Surfer and the various other tools who do similar do a great job at that, and great tool. So highly recommend it. So hey Craig, how are you? I'm good. I'm just building an online tool like Scrapebox. Can you suggest some features that SEO optimizers want? Again, very, very vague question. I mean, we like to scrape all different things as SEOs, and it really depends on what people are. People want to scrape things from LinkedIn. They want to scrape websites for phone numbers. They want to scrape websites for email addresses. They want to scrape a whole bunch of different things out there. It really comes down to what the search engine person's trying to do or trying to achieve. Will determine what features they want. I mean, personally, I used to use Scrapebox back in the day because spamming was a lot more, a big thing back then. But not so much now. I mean, obviously, I've got to scrape certain things and scrape content. And what I think would be really good, actually, is if you were able to build a tool. Now, I'm not sure how this would work, but build a tool that can scrape the Wayback Machine for content on expired domain names. Now, I know there are tools that do that, but then somehow be able to scrape and see if that content's been used or crawled in index, so that you know whether you can use that content or not, rather than just going to the Wayback Machine and grabbing the content. A scraper that would also be able to scrape up and say, right, that content's been used, you can't use it. That would be quite cool, because I know content's a big thing and we all like free content, so that could be a good idea. Elton Musa, Citations getting indexed, I would use Omega Indexer. Great indexing tool from the guys at SEO Autopilot. Also, if you're doing citations, one of the big things that citationsbuilder.com do is send your citations to an indexing tool. So I think it's $60 for 35 citations. Of those citations, the key part of those citations is getting them indexed. There's no point in having duplicate citations on 50 different websites and only one of them gets indexed. So it's pointless. So making sure those citations get indexed is really important. If you want an indexing tool, omegaindexer.com. And if you want the full service citations and everything, then go to citationsbuilder.com. Asif Ahmed, thinking about creating a CMS platform for graphic design stuff services like app, web design. There's always people needing good graphics and stuff like that, and PSD design and all of that kind of stuff. The traffic source will be organic. Just build, do SEO, get rankings. There's people looking for that stuff all over the place. Whether your rankings or the traffic source is going to be organic, or whether you do it from social media or whatever, people are still going to need graphics all day long. And if you're offering a cost-effective, quick service, easy money, man. Easy money. How to optimize keywords and content? Probably look at something like Surf for SEO, which we just discussed. Obviously researching your keywords and then implementing it into your content is really important. However, people would still talk about keyword density and crap like that. Don't worry about things like that. Write for the user. Make sure that your content is readable. Of course, you've got to mention keywords throughout the content. However, do it in a way that seems sensible and has common sense. No need to spam these days, because Google can see by your title tag, the headers, the content, any links that are pointing to that article and anything else, what that content's about. So you've got a number of different ways to show Google that page is out about a specific topic. You do not have to ram, the content full of, keywords or whatever. So just be careful with that. But as I say, using something like Surf for SEO, POP, Cora, something like that is a good way to get a good guide if you're unsure. Fabio Gomez de Silva. I love that name, man. Sounds like a footballer. What do you think about link juice and best practices? Some recommendations. So link juice is always very good. I'm always thirsty for that stuff. Link juice, obviously, there's a number of different things like expired domain names and everything else. Trying to get juice from expired domain names, PBNs. It's one way or another, we have to get links on high powerful websites. And as I say, expired domains, PBNs, getting guest posts and powering those up with tier 2 backlinks are all sure ways to getting some link juice. But obviously there's other tricks when it comes to link building as well. So all of that is done with a view to making sure that we get as much link juice as we possibly can. But those are just some of the things that you can do. Expired domain names is relatively easy. Getting guest posts from websites that have got high DR that have not been spammed to death, also another great way. So yeah, have a look at that and see what you can do. I work for a SaaS company. We don't collect any reviews on our website. However, our products have a good amount of reviewers on Capterra. How can we get a review schema in the search results? Maybe display them as testimonials on product pages and mark them review. Yes, you can do that. Add review schema. I'm not sure why. Obviously, you can get your reviews in Capterra or some of the other review websites that are out there. But of course, you can use them as testimonials. It's testimonials for your business. And if you use review schema, then I don't see there being any violation of any webmaster policies. It's your data, your testimonials, and you can utilize them on, whether it's Capterra and on your website. I think the job for you is to make sure that people see these, and you've obviously got to display them in your website and stuff like that as well. So I don't think you're breaking any policies by doing that. Everyone always wants to see whether you're trustworthy or not, and there is an element of people who check reviews out there, and that's only going to stand your business in good stead. So yeah, what I would also try and do is try and get Google reviews and stuff like that. Don't try not keep them all on Capterra, and try and utilize other review platforms as well. While you guys are here, if you don't mind liking and subscribing to the channel if you've not already, so like this video, subscribe, just helps boost my stats a little bit, and that's what I'm always looking for. So I'm doing some testing with some cool YouTube stuff, and engagement and stuff like that as well. So hoping to get as many comments, likes, shares, and most importantly, subscribing, please. So what is LSI, TF, and IDF role in SEO? Obviously, people talk about this all the time, and there's a whole mixture of debate over the roles that these things play. Some people say LSI. Google's becoming more and more clever. Google have their own tool now to be able to get words and put them together and all that kind of stuff. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, what that tool's called again. I know Ross Tavendale and stuff use it a lot, and I've used it myself. I just can't get the name. I will come back to you. But I think Google's becoming clever and cleverer all the time. Google has its own AI, and that's something that people are constantly feeding it with more information to be able to understand wording and everything else better, and that's just going to improve over the years. And obviously that plays into the world of SEO, because Google understanding the context of certain words is really, really important. I think years ago Google couldn't understand the difference between like apple pie and apple cider, but I think they're able to now understand the difference of all of those keywords. And I think, as I say, artificial intelligence and everything's coming into play, and all of that stuff has got, with anything like technology and all of these kind of machine learning processes and everything else, you're just going to have to embrace it and work with it, and it's only going to help your SEO in the long term. There's no really any debate whether it works or not. I think you just got to embrace it and understand what Google does know and what it doesn't know and all that kind of stuff. Play around with it, test it, and see how it works for you. What's my opinion on spinning content? I've spun content many times, and it's worked to a certain degree. I certainly wouldn't be spinning content on my own money websites. Spinning content for guest posts or spinning content for any other reason, of course, do it. But obviously it doesn't always read that well, so it really depends if it's for a PBN or what the use of that spun content is for. But yeah, can still have an effective role. Quora is very expensive. So, of course, Quora is very expensive, but the level of data in there is obscene. You do have cheaper options such as Surfer SEO and even Page Optimizer Pro, which probably don't have as much data as Quora. But they give you potentially what you need. You need to be a real anorak, and really get into stuff for Quora to probably be worth your while. Whereas just a general overlook of a website and stuff like that, I think Surfer or POP are certainly more cost-effective options. But Quora, as I say, amazing tool, and the guy Ted, who makes that tool outrageously skilled guy, and it's obviously served its purpose for a higher end of the market. Thomas Vav, a company is launching a couple of affiliate sites in another country in the eyes of Google. Can it be considered as a problem if the same IP is used for accessing Google Search Console and Google Analytics? Absolutely not, Thomas. I don't see that to be a problem. Many people have like an English website, a Polish website, and an Italian website, and a lot of people are based in one location, so that isn't a problem. I know plenty of people who have a similar setup and never known that to be any kind of problem, so do not worry about that whatsoever. I think you will be more than fine. Namil Shah, I'm trying to get started with expired domain buying. Any good and detailed article how to understand how to find them with high traffic? So, Namil, there are free tools out there, such as, well, not tools as such, but expireddomains.net is a website where you can get them. The problem you're probably having is free tools don't give a lot of data. There is a tool called spamzilla.io, which I'm going to just put in the comments. It's only, I think it's about $40 a month. And what that does is pulls all the data from all the different places in together, and you can look at expiring domain names and domains that are also at an auction. Now, the problem you're going to have, Namil, is if you don't want to pay for it, you're always going to be left with the expired domain names that no one wants. Spamzilla is showing you stuff that's about to drop, and you can try and jump in and catch it, or you can go to an auction and grab it. And you're going to get some value there. I think a lot of people wait for the free stuff to come out, and to be honest with you, you're going to be waiting a long time for any kind of real value to come. You need to be really, really lucky for a good domain name to expire and appear on a free tool, because everyone else is going to jump in there on top of you. They've got tools that are watching expiring domain names, just better tools, better setups, and you've also got another thing called drop catchers who just catch domains as they drop. So free tools, these drop catchers are used in software and nominate accounts and everything else. So they're always going to beat you to the punch if you're not going to use the right tools and software to be able to jump in and do that. So in terms of good articles, probably just Google it, expired domain process or drop catching process or something like that. I'm not sure of any guides out there. I've just not looked for them because I've got a few friends that do the drop catching thing, so I've never really had to go and research it, but I'm sure there will be an article out there somewhere on that, and hopefully that helps you, man. All right. Darren Finch, I have a mechanical coupling product. It can work in any vehicle, so I'm trying to narrow it to auto, farm, mining, and industrial. Darren, come on. And no hard questions here. I'm only kidding. I think, if you've got a mechanical coupling product, it is going to be very hard if it's the exact same product and you're trying to say, right, it's for farming, it's for mining, or whatever. I mean, obviously, you just need to do keyword research to see if there is, whatever the top product's called, and then farming. I'm not too sure on that. I can certainly look at it after if you ping me on Facebook or something and look at it specifically to give you a better idea. But obviously, what you're going to start to do is start to become repetitive with the content if the product is exactly the same and you're just saying it's for different niches. I would imagine something like that, though, would be very, very niche. I might be wrong. And you might get away with it. But if you can actually Facebook me or something like that and send me, I'm happy to have a look and maybe give you a better insight that way. And check it out on the various tools to see what the kind of thing is there. But, genuinely, I think, it's going to be that. It depends on your competition and what everyone else is doing as well. So we'll have a look at that. But yeah, certainly ping me on Facebook and I'll have a look at it specifically for you. Ahmed Amar, what tools do you buy and resell as one-off monthly services on marketplaces such as Fiverr? I mean, Ahmed, I'm not sure of the legalities of these things, but I'm sure you could sell an Ahrefs keyword report to others. There are lots of lazy people out there, and there's also lots of people who don't want to pay, the monthly subscription. So if they could pay you $5 or a tenner to get that, then I'm sure you could do that pretty much with any tool, whether that's Surfer or anything else. But I'm not sure whether that's in their terms of service or against it or whatever. So, but you can do it pretty much with any tool. But I'm not sure I'd be shouting about that publicly. But people do buy keyword reports. People do buy site audits. People do buy, all of the other stuff that you could potentially do with those tools, and certainly some on page. Using Quora or whatever as well is something that people can do as well. So I know you asked that question about Quora. Sebastian Tan, when building a local SEO site targeting multiple locations and services, which is the better options for URL structure? So, I mean, that's something, again, that you can Google it to get a visual check on that. But, I think it depends on the size of the website. But if you have a builder's website and you've got roofers, then you're going to have like building.com/roofing service/ or roofing repairs /London, and then you'd have similar again, but /Birmingham /Manchester, or whatever it's going to be. Try and segment or silo your website out in a nice, easy to understand manner for Google, and have the trailing slashes and everything, or the URL string consistent throughout the website. Nice to see Argentine supporter, Argentina, Messi, favourite player. So yeah, and I like the top as well. So yeah, Argentina supporter for sure. My own country doesn't do too well at football, so have to support someone else. But guys, if you can please like, subscribe, and all of that stuff, if you haven't already, that would be great. Ahmed Amar, what other tools other than Quora? All right, we've already answered that one. Never spin content. Yeah, you probably shouldn't. Probably good advice. Could he use Wayback? Yes. And Darren Finch, you could use Wayback. Kevin, how do you provide organic forecast based on your efforts? For example, doing an audit, fixing up a website, expand the content, blogs. Clients request for these numbers, estimated global organic leads before committing to SEO work. Do they? Certainly, clients may ask, but unless you've got a crystal ball, then you can't really do that. You can't really predict as such. I think if you're going to predict what a client's going to earn and you don't hit that target, then you're going to have a client problem. SEO is about return on investment. So, of course, if you spend £1,000 on Facebook, for example, and you get £5,000 return on it, of course, if you spend £2,000, it would logically make sense that you would get 10 back, and so on. So you can give things like that, a kind of rough guide. But I think, I would always massively underplay it, because companies have a marketing budget, and as long as they get an ROI, then fine. But I think if you want specific numbers of leads and stuff like that, now leads are not always down to you as the marketer. The price might be too high, the calls to action on the website might be garbage, the content on the website might be garbage, and when you're dealing with certain companies, getting content changed is not always that easy. You're going to have to go to the board and tell them it's shit and all of that kind of stuff. So sometimes how many leads actually come through to a website is out with your control. It's not part of your job. You can only really work with the cards you've been dealt with. Now, of course, in the perfect world, you would have full control over that and be able to say to a client, right, we can do this, we can do that, we can do that. And it's always with a view to getting more value for your money. So always looking to do changes, always looking to do CRO, and all of that kind of stuff, as well as, improving your rankings. But I think for me, I would certainly not commit to any specific I'm going to do 3 months worth of SEO and I'm going to make all these changes and you're going to have 10,000 hits a month. I wouldn't be committed to those numbers. I've never really, and it's one of the reasons I probably don't do client work, because, that's just too much, in my opinion. I think we have to be concerned about doing the right jobs and see what comes of it, rather than trying to fight to get numbers. Because what happens, if you're falling short of these numbers, you're next on the chopping block and you're going to be fired. So you're lining yourself up to get a beating from a customer, which is why I would always stay clear of committing to those numbers, so to speak. How to rank a website in first page. You need to do a lot more research than that, buddy. Lots of different ranking factors. You will have to do a lot more research. I'm not going to sit here on a Q&A and explain how to rank a website in first page, because it's a quick Q&A, not how to rank a website in first page. There's a lot of reading, a lot of courses. I do have a course as well, and it's free, and you can see all the different elements that go into ranking a website. But that's what a course is for. The course has got 153 different modules, so you are literally going to have to go and read them. I can't read it all out for you in a question and answers. So if you want to learn, I'm sure you don't have to do my course, by the way. You can do anyone's, but that would be your best option, mate. Kevin, for an e-commerce website, we want to change their site architecture due to the mess it is right now. Can you provide forecast based on traffic that might be lost from doing this? And how long until the site gains are back to its initial traffic? I wish this was vodka. Kevin, I think you're looking at this, this forecasting probably too much. Now, of course, if the architecture's wrong, you do want to sort that out. And it's, there's no time like the present to just get it done. Of course, you will, probably see a decrease in traffic, and you will also see it does take time to get back to the initial traffic. Now, again, how long is a piece of string? Also, you might have another Google update out, and that causes problems and stuff like that. You might have problems with indexation and various other bits and bobs. So again, I'm not sure why you would want to forecast that. If there's a problem there, we need to get it resolved, and the job is to get it resolved as quickly as we can. But in my experience, again, if I was going to forecast it to myself, I would always have got it wrong, because there's always been something that's went wrong, fixing out someone else's mess, and certain things have dipped and it's taken a little bit longer than I would have thought to get things back. Sometimes URLs get jammed in the index and you need to 410 them. There's so many things that can go wrong with this type of thing, that forecasting it, again, is lining a rod for your own back, and a surefire way to get fired quicker than expected. So I would be careful with those forecasts, and just explain to a customer, your website's a mess, and here's why. We want to restructure it. We want to add a much better structure to your website that long term will improve your website, but there is going to be a dip over the next couple of months potentially. If you've got pay-per-click budget to maybe absorb some of that dip, then so be it. If not, then there is going to be a dip, but I don't want to be held to 6 weeks or 8 weeks or whatever it might be, because I'm not in full control of that, and I can't forecast it accurately, because Google are essentially there, and they're going to have to crawl and index stuff and all of that kind of stuff, and updates, and you've got competition doing stuff, and so there's way too much stuff that's out with your control to be able to do that and give an accurate answer. Shubham, you can ask as many times. Unfortunately, I'm not going to answer that question. Facebook user, when can I start link building for a new website? I mean, how many months? Straight away. You don't have to wait any months to start link building. Just get stuck into it straight away. There's no time like the present to start your link building campaign. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say you have to build 100 links or anything like that, per month. But starting out, get some citations, get some local links, get on niche specific directories, that type of thing. and then start to raise the bar from there, getting good links, see what the competition are doing and try and replicate that. But ASAP is the way I would do it. Mark Slorence. Over the past week, I've been testing out some different traffic websites. Hit Leap, Feel and Surf, and 10K hits. So, what's my favourite roll van in the Hillington estate? The one next to the golf garage is the favourite roll van. The wee Chinese guy's all right as well. So, they're all right. But trying to lose a bit of beef, to be honest. So, taking impact lunches I was taking impact lunches to work. Because it's too easy to sit there and eat like a pig. But yeah, so traffic websites, Hit Leap, Feel and Surf and all that, absolute garbage now. Now, Hit Leap used to work, a year or two ago. It's something I have recommended on several talks that I've done. But nothing beats real traffic. And I think, at the moment, I'm able to get traffic for a penny a click from Facebook. And real traffic, real engagement, and even doing things like this to get real engagement is what I need. Now, I could send a bot to YouTube and try and increase the subscribers or the views and all that kind of stuff, but nothing beats you guys watching, asking questions and interacting with it. So I think you've just got to look at low-cost paid ones, and you can use things like Quote Answers, Facebook stuff, using your mailing list, using push messages, trying, I'm building all of that stuff out so that I can actually get real traffic on the website. Because those paid ones, I think Google have cottoned on to that now. And it's just garbage. But if you are in Hillington, feel free to pop in one day and meet up for a coffee, and I can show you some of the stuff I'm doing. I'm more than happy to do that. So, give us a shout, mate, if you are genuinely local. Not sure if you are or not, but you must be. You wouldn't ask that question. Michelle Ellis, I have a DA of 40. What is the minimum DA of sites I should get links from? So, Michelle, there is no minimum as such, because what could happen is you could go out there and get a DA 30 link, and it may grow into a DA 50 because the person's doing a load of work on it. So I'm not sure I would discount anything. I mean, obviously a crappy DA 30 or something like that that has no real room for growth, and it's just getting spammed to death, is not really going to move the needle. But I think you've also got to take the look at it where websites are constantly growing and the metrics are always going to grow as well. So I'm not sure I would actually discount any links, because they do grow in in most cases. And I think that's the way I look at it. But of course, I would rather go for something like DA 45 plus. You always want to probably get better than what your DA is to increase your domain authority. Although I don't use DA, I use DR from Ahrefs, but it's the same kind of thing, just a third-party score. But yeah, I mean, getting the highest ones you can are going to move the needle more and increase your DR. But I'm not going to sit here and say chase DR. Get links from good quality websites, and a DR 30 can certainly move a bunch of keywords up as well. Sending it to an internal page and hope that page is going to grow as well. What I've also been known to do, if I get a guest blog post on a DA 30, is send some automated link building to it using something like SEO autopilot. So I'll power up the DA of that particular URL and to make sure it passes a bit more power to my link. So hopefully that answers your question, Michelle. Guys, if you can, please like and subscribe on YouTube, if you don't mind. That would be very much appreciated. I am going to keep going for the next 20 minutes. We've still got 20 minutes left. So make sure that you are putting your questions in the chat. How many FAQ Schema questions are better to list on a page. I have 100 plus, want to list on the homepage. Is it good practice? Probably not. I think that's overkill. I think adding FAQs to the most relevant page is your best bet. I've never seen anyone adding 100 to their homepage. I think that's probably very spammy and not really that useful, probably quite untidy as well to the user. So I would try and cut that down a great deal and just add FAQs to the most relevant pages. So depending on what you do, you know, for me, I do SEO training, I do website audit. So I would have website audit FAQs on my website audit page and so on. So I don't add them all to the homepage. That's pretty spammy, I would say, and not best practice. How do you manage multiple AdSense accounts in one laptop? I'm not sure of AdSense as such. I don't really do anything to do with AdSense, but I know you can manage multiple AdWords accounts from Google MCC. You can set up a managerial account and you can log in to one dashboard and control all your accounts. Not sure if AdSense has got a similar thing if you're managing multiple accounts, but have a look. But it's not something that I play around with, sadly. Darren, preferred WP SEO plugin. I use one called All-in-One SEO. It's just an old favourite. To be honest, I've used it for many years, and I've just never really moved. I mean, I hear great things about rank math, and so, and you know, Yoast and all that's been fairly solid over the years. But I've always just used All-in-One. I kind of hated Yoast because of the traffic light signal, because I've got like some form of OCD thing. So if I didn't get the green traffic light in Yoast, it used to really annoy me. And obviously, we all know that, you know, sometimes you're going to get an amber just because that's the way it is, and really annoyed me. So I get rid of Yoast and have stuck with All-in-One SEO, and it's stood me in good stead and still use it to this day. So yeah, hopefully that helps. Sebastian Tan, is it okay to use duplicate content for local SEO that has multiple locations? It's probably never okay to use duplicate content as such. However, I'm not going to say that duplicate content doesn't work, because I've got friends who have pages up there that have got a ridiculous amount of duplicate content on there, and they still rank well in relatively weak niches. But best practice, I think it's always wise to make sure that you try and make the content as unique as you possibly can. Now, I know if you've got one service and you're going to do 100 locations, that's going to be difficult. But, you know, what people are doing is adding stuff about that location specific, you know, taking stuff from Wikipedia, whatever it may be, and trying to make that page as unique as it possibly can. But as I say, best practice is not to use duplicate content, but people have done it and I've seen it work. So the choice is yours. As I say, I just don't want to condone using duplicate content and then it doesn't work and you come back and say, hey, you said it. I have seen it work in very uncompetitive markets, and it works very well. So yeah, go for it, man. Give it a bash and see what happens. But more questions, please, people. Also, like and subscribe if you don't mind. I would love it to have more likes and subscribes on YouTube. We only have, let me see how many, 8 likes. Come on, guys. Give us a few more likes. Also, add questions to the chats as well. We do have 15 minutes left, so let's see what we've got. Jake Ostman. Quick thought on URL structures for products or services. Is it always best to use a service /example/ or product /example/ structure as opposed to just example? I've never actually done any single variable testing to say which one or the other is better. I think it's always good to have some form of structure like service and then example or whatever. You know, I think just having just, you know, a very short trailing slash example would be okay for a very small website. But I think the bigger your website goes and the more areas you cover, or the more products or categories that you've got, then you're going to have a longer structure. And I think just making that simple and easy to understand for Google is the most common sense way to do it. But, you know, there's a lot of people that debate over the exact minute details, and, you know, obviously have, you know, your category and then product or whatever it's going to be. That's the way I would always have it. You know, if it's like, you know, shoes, and then it's going to be black shoes, and then it's going to be whatever, you know, just keep going like that and just have a nice solid silo structure like that. But as I say, some people have a flat structure still rank really well, but that's fine for a website that's, you know, got a couple of thousand URLs. But the bigger you get, you're going to have to become more structured and make it simple and easy for the big G to be able to get through that website. So yeah, that's the key part, keeping them happy. How to rank an e-commerce store like a Shopify store? Umar, it's a very generic question to how to rank a Shopify website. Websites like Shopify, you don't have access to certain things to do technical things or speed up the server. So you are restricted in some ways using websites like Shopify. But ranking e-commerce websites in general, SEO is SEO. It's not really different. Obviously, things like silo structure, parameters, and filtering out in certain parameters and stuff like that on a large e-commerce store are really, really important. The problem you've got with the likes of Shopify when you don't have that access is it's like trying to do SEO with your hands tied behind your back. So that's why I'm not a huge... I mean, Shopify is a great platform. It's a great off-the-shelf platform. It can work, you know, to a certain degree. And I know that their SEO elements are improving all the time. However, there's certain things that you can't touch, and that's why I steer clear of Shopify. I would always use either WooCommerce for a very small e-commerce website, or something like Magento for a bigger e-commerce website. But e-commerce is e-commerce. There's always going to be parameter issues and making sure that, you know, you look after your crawl budget on a big website, as well as doing your kind of on-page and link building and all of that kind of stuff. But it's a big task. E-commerce a bit more fiddly, if you like, but it's a great niche to be in. You know, e-commerce is certainly the way forward, but you're probably better looking at a guide specifically for Shopify. You know, I'm sure there's guys out there who are more experienced in Shopify than me. As I say, I just steer clear of it. I use the back end of it, to be fair, and put the front end of a website on WordPress and use the e-commerce functionality on a couple of websites that I've got with Shopify, because I think really the upsell and just the system itself is quite neat and tidy. But trying to SEO that thing is not always the best use of my time. So I'm sure there's guides out there though. Hi, Craig, do you use GMB for national affiliate sites? I mean, no, I do not. I've never. I mean, most of the affiliate websites that I've had that are national or not even national here, they're international. The Americans, the biggest audience. So it would be absolutely crazy to kind of have any kind of GMB focus on it. So... Nah, I've never done it. I'm sure that you know, you can maybe get a little bit of traffic from it, but yeah, I don't see there being much point. Other things to be doing. Alan Doolan, how long were you focused at SEO before I was finally able to drop my agency clients? So I think probably 14 years or something like that. So I started out as a freelancer. And had to do client work. That was the only way of getting money. Then built up an agency, which was all client stuff. Then just get sick and tired of it. And over the last 4 or 5 years of my life, I've been trying to do a lot more affiliate. So I think the job, Alan, is trying to use that agency money to fund the kind of affiliate dream, if you like, or try other things. So, using that money, getting that money, and then moving it to another easier, simpler solution. But it certainly wasn't something I was able to do overnight. I think we all need to live and survive and pay the bills and everything else. And so it wasn't an easy pivot or anything like that. So hard work it was. Guys, please do like and subscribe the channel if you don't mind, and the video. Rosen Stefanov, what do you think about voice search? Is it overrated or underrated? So I think for anyone, voice search is going to become more apparent. I'm not sure I think a lot of people are always looking for something new just now, and I'm not sure that I think it's that important right now. But I think it will be, and I think future-proofing your business and trying to embrace it, understand it, and maybe start to implement some of it is quite an important thing to do. But how many people at the moment are using voice search, really? I know people are using Alexa and stuff like that. But the reality is, I probably think it's overrated, to be honest, if I had to answer that. But I'm sure someone will disagree. What is the best way to develop my skills? Internship work or work in the marketplace? It's very hard to say which is the best for you. You can still make some money in the marketplace. Internship work is a great way for cutting your teeth as well. And I've certainly had a couple of interns in the past come in and work for a couple of months just to understand my processes and stuff like that better, and then went on to get other jobs. These people have asked to come in. I wasn't necessarily looking, but people have reached out to me and said, I'll work if you show me the right way. And I think that's a great thing to do as well. I think just getting your hands dirty, whether it's in the marketplace or going into somewhere, if you can afford to do an internship and not be paid, and just get your hands dirty, because at present you're probably not valuable to a company because you're new to the industry. But I think you can very, very quickly show your worth, and if you do show your worth, then your opportunities will continue to grow. And I think I've helped several people. I've had a few people contact me from universities and stuff and say, can I come into your office for 1 or 2 days a week for the next 6 months, because I feel that I need to be actively doing stuff and developing my skills. And all of those people who've done that have all went on to secure full-time employment. And one girl in particular I done that with said that at her interview, the people that were interviewing her were blown away by the amount of knowledge she got, because she was able to talk about things like SEMrush, keyword research, all of that stuff. And for someone who's new to the industry that can go in and have that conversation by simply just getting in and doing the basics in an office, will get you a job fairly easily. So really depends on your financial predicament and stuff like that as well. I know it's hard to do free work, but certainly a good option, and you can move on. Brent Jacobs, would you outsource keyword research, and to what extent do you outsource? What don't I outsource? So everything can be outsourced, Brent, as I'm sure you know. Every single thing can be outsourced, whether that's keyword research, whether that's adding Amazon links, whether that's link building or whatever. All of that stuff can be done, but it really comes down to you and how much of the money you want to keep within your pocket. You can outsource a lot and make some money as well. It's all about how you want to scale up, though. Everything can be outsourced, and you can just scale up if it's client work you're doing. You can just oversee it or manage it. I think having the right processes and systemizing everything is key to doing that. What don't I outsource? What I wouldn't outsource? I don't like outsourcing videos because I like me to be on the videos. I don't like outsourcing. I don't like outsourcing that much. So obviously the grunt work, content, accountancy, finance stuff's all done by an accountant. all the stuff I hate, but I do like SEO and playing with tools and all of that stuff, and I'm not going to change that. And I just outsource the stuff that I don't like doing. So yeah, and I quite enjoy doing this kind of thing, and I don't really enjoy blog writing or whatever, so I get someone else to do that part for me. So whatever suits yourself is the best way to do it. I often hear visuals can speak for 1,000 words. To what extent is this true? Of course, I think people interact with visuals, videos, and all that kind of stuff better than they would with a whole bunch of text. People are interacting with this particular video. Would they read a blog post with the same information on it? Probably not. So I think you can only take from that, that this is going to work in your favour, visuals and graphics and stuff like that. It's just a lot more pleasing in the eye. So we'll get into the last few minutes, guys. I'm quite happy to extend it if the questions keep coming, but please do make sure that you like and subscribe on YouTube. Your support would be very much appreciated if you haven't done it already. Just keep going with that, because I think we got up to 19 likes, and there's been a lot more than 19 watching, so somebody's not doing their job properly. But next, Thomas Vav, any tips on how to push getting the knowledge graph for a brand? Which websites would help except Wikipedia to get links from? The knowledge graph is something that's, it really depends on your brand name and all that kind of stuff, and how difficult it is. But schema is what gives you the kind of knowledge graph. You need to look at that. I would say, what I'd suggest is you go and look at a guy, Jason Bernard, and see what he's saying on the knowledge graph. He is a guy that specialises in that, and he'll be able to tell you how easy and what the best websites to get links from are. Because schema and knowledge graph stuff's not always something I'm really that highly skilled in. I understand that I've got schema, starting to implement it, but I'm a late comer to the schema game, and going after all that stuff. I think I get a lot of traffic from social media and videos, and that works for me. Some people are looking for those knowledge graphs and answer boxes and everything else that's out there. So Jason Bernard, look him up online. He always talks about knowledge graphs and how to do it. I'm pretty sure if you put his name into YouTube, you'll also see him doing a few talks in SEMrush about that. Brent, some people say CRO affects SEO rankings as well. So CRO is going to affect engagement, click-through rate, and everything else. So yes, of course, it's going to help your SEO. Indirectly, it's going to help your SEO. By simply doing CRO is not going to help your SEO as such. It's what happens as a result of that good CRO. People buying, people spending more time on your page, people checking out and all that kind of stuff. So yes, that is going to affect your rankings indirectly. So make sure that you do good CRO. Sebastian, would you consider that? Would it consider as unique content Google if I rewrite the content? Sebastian, that's a very loose question. Now, if you rewrite it and change a few words, of course, it's still going to be duplicate content. If you rewrite it in your own words and change the direction and the angle that the article's written in, of course, it would then be unique content. There's only so many ways that you can say a roof repair is done, for example, but it's got to be unique. It's got to be in your words. It's not just going in and changing a few words. Totally unique, totally different angle. Make your own angle on it, and that should work for you. One has to go. Apple, Microsoft. Apple all day long, Lola, but sadly all the SEO tools are on Microsoft, so I've got both, which is a bummer. Jake, another GMB question. Is it worth creating a listing for an e-com business who doesn't have a physical location? I mean, probably not. For the amount of traffic that you're going to get from saying that you had a physical location in any given city, it's probably not worth the hassle of, trying to rank it and all that kind of stuff, and the other crap that comes with it when people may show up to that location or whatever, or try and find it. I think it's better just not to have it, in all honesty. How to handle Google updates? Very good question. See what everyone else is doing, interact with the community, see what they're doing, what they think of the changes, and decide to do. But I don't think jumping in and just making changes to Google are not really out there to penalise good work. So in most cases, it's just minor tweaks or whatever. So I wouldn't be too worried with that. One has to go: classic watch or smartwatch. Classic watch, Lola J. Love a classic watch. Smartwatch is not really for me. Ishmael, I want to start a YouTube channel and I'll focus on diet and fitness topics. I just want to do as presentation. Can you suggest any awesome presentation tools that do that? So in terms of YouTube itself, you can stream using StreamYard.com. Presentation tools, you've got Prezi presentation, you Keynote on a Mac. There's lots of templates and stuff out there. You can also go to ThemeForest and buy a kind of ready-made template where you can just drag and drop stuff as well. So you can get a PowerPoint on there that's drag and drop. So ThemeForest is also another place for presentations. Presentations are not my strong point. I have to get someone else to make them because my graphics are absolute shit. But yeah, Mark Lawrence. As I mentioned earlier, I was thankful about the tips Craig has shared, so it put me in a good mood to share one of mine with you guys in the chat. In short, 15 years ago, I started doing web development. Craig Mullins, what are your thoughts on the backlink audit tool at SEMrush using the stats to disavow? Are SEMrush metrics any good? I'm trying to clean up a bunch of bad links using various tools. So Craig Mullins, SEMrush is fairly good. I've done a number of different disavows with that tool. I also had the Majestic thing plugged in. However, and this is no slight on SEMrush in any way. I'm a lazy bandit. But there's a guy out there called Rick Lomas who just does it all for you. And he uses every tool, including LRT, link research tools, which is obviously quite expensive, but he does disavows for you. So if you want to shoot me a message on Facebook, I can put you in touch with Rick Lomas if you want him to just do the whole lot. But certainly on SEMrush, you know, the backlink tool and the data is good. I'm not going to sit here and say it's the most in-depth data in the world. I'm sure, you know, you get what you pay for and all that stuff. But it's certainly done a good job in helping me identify some bad links and being able to disavow them. So I have used SEMrush, but I would also recommend using Rick Lomas. Last few questions, guys. So and then I will bugger off and give you all peace. Just make sure you like and subscribe again. Smart launch, even then the market was far too saturated. So I started a PC support company in Glasgow, and that's cool. Craig Mullins, you can download domain score. Doesn't seem great. I think you guys are actually having a chat. What are my favourite tools to clean up? So that Rick Lomas is my favourite tool. Sorry, more of a chat than a question. No problem at all, Mark. If you guys are all happy chatting and all that stuff, then I would always say that interaction networking is good. So Lola G, I hardly look at my classic watch. If I want to know the time I use my cell, but there's something about a classic watch that's irreplaceable. I kind of agree. You know, although I wear a classic watch, I'm not sure how often I look at the time on it. If I'm being honest, it's probably more of a just a thing that you know, just a fashion item, if you like. So yeah, I'm probably the same. Use the cell phone as well. Mads Vindelbo. Hi Craig, what do you find really moves the needle in 2019, 2020? Same as what worked in 2018. Links, good content, good tech. Make sure that, you know, that you've got a fast loading website, technically sound, good links, good content, good internal linking, Don't rely solely on SEO. Drive traffic from other sources. Make sure that you're driving in traffic from Facebook, YouTube, whatever else, and that will stand you in good stead going forward. But any last questions, guys, before I go? The audience is still sitting there fairly decent. Sarcastic meow. I'm doing an SEO internship and starting how many ways we can get online SEO work and freelancing sites. You get ignored. Sarcastic. You have to prove your worth. Obviously, freelancing websites is very, very hard to start on because, you know, people are basing it on the amount of work you've done previously and all that stuff. How you can go forward getting work. I don't think there's ever been a case where good SEOs don't get work. People will fall over their feet to get to you. It's just about being in front of the right people, networking, showcasing your stuff, and all of that kind of stuff is really, really important. Just getting out there, talking to people, and interacting with people and showcasing your work. You know, showcase it on Facebook, tell people the good results you've got, all of that stuff. And yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. And so that's as I say, what you've got to do, and just get your name out there. It's not easy. So yeah, Michael Fielding, good to see you at the end of it. Brent Jacobs, let's say you had to start over from zero. What kind of things would I do different? A lot of things different, Brent. Wasted many years on many different tools, many different people, and stuff like that. But it all forms part of the education. So I'm not sure I would change that much, to be fair. I think I've had a reasonably successful time of it. And as I say, made a lot of mistakes, but it helped make me stronger. It helped make me learn. And as I say, just it helps me going forward to make less mistakes. So I'm not sure I would change too much, mate, to be honest. Just different people. I kick myself for, you know, giving people the benefit of the doubt when I shouldn't have, or spending money on a whole load of garbage that when I shouldn't have, and stuff like that. But these are all mistakes we all make. So yeah, I'm not going to beat myself up about that. But anyway, guys, sadly, we are out of time. Just give me a wee like and subscribe and all that stuff before you go. And I will catch you tomorrow. I'm going to do another one tomorrow on Black Hat SEO. So see you later.